fulfilling the experience and need of the senses is a part of fun and play. And so I know there's been periods in my life where I've gone, whoa, that's a bit too serious, Mukti. Yeah, find the joy in it again. Yeah. Because we can get engrossed in our life and just take it too seriously. And then people say things to us and we take it so seriously. And we take it to heart and we allow ourselves to get hurt when it's just not necessary. It's not necessary to create the dramas. So the question is, what do I want? I want to have some fun. How am I going to do that? How am I going to play with this situation? How am I going to be serious and play at the same time? Serious in the sense that you might know it's a serious situation, but how to be light about it. How to be light within yourself about it. These are things that we discover in yoga, how to do. We see ourselves being serious and then we find a way, and I think a really good way is to watch children playing. Yeah. Once I heard that children laugh 400 times a day. There is actually no evidence based to this, by the way. It's just something I heard. So I thought, oh, 400 times. How am I going to get my 400 laughs in? So I got my mala out, and I'm thinking, well, 4 of these malas. And I'd also heard that, and this has an evidence base, when you laugh, whether it's contrived or real, it actually boosts the T cells, it boosts your immune system. So I thought, oh, that's a good idea. I like the idea of boosting my T cells. So I sat there and timed myself. How long does it take to get 4 malas? And so I went, ha 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 ha. I combined it with yoga pranayama. Quick breathing. So the exhalations belong. I've done about 10 there. I timed myself, it took me 12 minutes. I dropped that's the one. I dropped the kids off at school because they lived quite a distance, and I'm driving home on the motorway going, I'm not saying you should do this, I'm just saying what I did. And then, if there was an issue to be dealt with, I would say the word around the issue, or if there was an issue with a person, I'd say the person's name and go, And I heard that there's a 21 cycle, like 21 days, and so I thought, all right, I'll do it 21 times for 21 days and see how that works. And I must say it made a difference to issues that I was facing. It turned things around. It changed some neuron synapses around whatever that was. So that's something you can work with, just laughing. Find a space at home where you can laugh at, in a contrived way, the issue. You might make a statement, about the issue. Say you don't get on with your father. You don't want to say, I hate my father, but what you want to say is whatever the issue is. So maybe your father's always blaming you. So then you might say, Father blaming me. Father blaming me. Like that. And you come up with your own solution. And this is very empowering. When you find the solution yourself, this is empowering. I often say the story of my 17-year-old son, school captain, and he was studying the International Baccalaureate, so there was a lot of pressure on him. And one night I saw the bedroom light on at midnight, so I go up to the room and poke my head in. And his face is in a computer screen, so I knew he wasn't studying. And I simply said, "What time do you have to get up in the morning to get to school?" He said, "Oh, 6:30. I said, "You know the time now, don't you?" And he said, "Oh yeah, it's midnight." I said, "Good night." I walked away. And he yelled out as I walked away, "Can you ring up the school and tell them I'm sick?" I said, "No, love you, good night." I just asked the question, what time do you have to be at school? He knows. We can do that to ourselves. Like when we start blaming ourselves for certain things, ask a question. Like that, what time do I have to get up? You might be binge watching Netflix. What time do you have to get up? Oh, I've got to get up at 6 a.m. How are you going to do that? Great difficulty. Then what are you going to do about it? Go to bed. Computer. Yeah. What do I want? What am I doing to get it? If I'm not having fun, what am I doing in my life to bring fun in? How do I learn to play? How do I be more playful? And we find the ways that suit us. What suits me won't suit you, and vice versa. So it's this introspection and self-reflection that is self-empowering. We have a need for power, for exerting our will. But how do we do this? Do we do it in a way where we're trying to control other people? Or do we do it in a way to control ourselves? Yeah? And so as an example, some people give the silent treatment. You know that one? That's a very controlling behaviour. And if we're doing that behaviour, the question is, what do I want? I actually want to communicate. I want to communicate that I didn't like what you said. But instead of saying that, I use the silent treatment. Because I want to communicate that I didn't like what you said or did, how do I talk about that? How do I find the courage to talk about that? How do I find the right time and place to talk about that? It might be that I say, well, I have an issue here with what you said. I need to talk about it. I don't know if this is the time and place. And the other person said, no issue. Says no issue, and you say, well, from my point of view, there it is. I need to talk about it. And the other person says, I don't need to talk about it, and say, you don't need to talk about it, I need to talk about it. Do you see? What do you want? What are you doing to get it? You need to find the ways and means. No two circumstances are the same. Maybe then you go and sit and write it out, what it is. And you look at it the next day and then you say, I'm crossing that sentence out. Because that sentence is blaming and criticising the other person. The minute you start to blame and criticise other people, there is shut. Just as if someone blames and criticises you, you don't want to listen. Just as if someone else is trying to control you, you don't want to be controlled, then realise trying to control someone else also doesn't work. So yoga is about being self-controlling in our asana, our pranayama, our hand positions, our mudra, our bandhas, throat lock, stomach lock, pelvic floor lock. We're controlling our bodies, and through that process we learn to control our body energy. We learn to find the ways and means of being less controlling of other people. This is very self-empowering. So 3 basic needs: security, safety, fun, play, and we learn through fun and play. Learning is a need, it's all rolled into one here. Being self-controlling rather than other controlling. And then love and belonging. We all want to be loved. We want to feel we belong. And we want to express that. We want others to belong. So there might be a circumstance where people are being mean to you and all you want is to feel loved. Maybe you can't get it from those people. Maybe there's other people out there that need to be your friends. Yeah. But that need must be fulfilled. And so sometimes our, for example, controlling behaviours push people away. Yeah. So it's very hard, it's very challenging to love someone who's trying to control you. Yeah. But when we control ourselves and we express through love, the mirror neurons of the other person eventually will kick in. Sometimes there are certain personality disorders where there's nothing you can do. But, you know, for the average, general, normally functioning human being, when you stop being controlling and acknowledge the other person, because I care about you, I'm going to tell you how I'm feeling, so that you understand me. And it's because I care about you. So in other words, you're not dumping stuff. You're not getting into the behaviours, the controlling behaviours of blaming and criticising. And would you believe it that rescuing is also a controlling behaviour? When you try to fix things up for people and rescue them, it's actually a controlling behaviour. And the third behaviour is feeling that you're a victim of a circumstance. That's also a controlling behaviour, because you pull into your story the person who wants to rescue you, but you also pull in the other person who wants to blame and criticise you. So it's a very powerful position to be in, thinking that you're a victim. So what we do in yoga is we step out of that. If we're feeling that we're a victim, then we say, well, I'm going to take responsibility. What can I do? How can I take responsibility? Or if we're blaming and criticising and we're seeing ourselves doing that, then we need to step out of it and look at the exact opposite and bring in the positive side, looking at what is good. And if we're used to fixing things for people, rescuing them, we learn to assist, which is very different. Yeah? You're not trying to fix when you assist. You might say, oh, have you thought of doing it this way? And the other person says, oh, no, that's a good idea, I'm going to try it. Or they'll say, oh, yeah, I did, but it didn't work. But you're not trying to fix it, you're just giving it an idea. Yeah, very different. So these controlling behaviours are turned around through self-reflection, through observation, and bringing in that feeling of love, caring, enabling another person to feel that they belong. We all need to express creatively. If we don't externalise our creative expression, if we suppress it, the energy goes inwards and creates health issues. If we get that out in a positive way, in a creative way, we don't have that issue of it imploding. We want to get it out before it explodes. Yeah? So gradually expressing ourselves. I was saying before, if you're unhappy with the way someone has treated you, talking about it. If you keep suppressing this in, one day it explodes out. And it'll explode at an inappropriate moment. And you'll be thinking, oh, I don't know where that came from. And the other person will be thinking, I don't know where that came from. You know those moments. So what that is saying is that all behaviour is purposeful. If someone's being rude to you or angry or being frustrated, it's about them. Something is going on in their life. We take it personally and think, oh, it's us. I've done something wrong. You might have been the trigger, but it's the other person that actually has the issue. And so when we explode, we need to look at that and say, well, what wasn't I expressing? When could I have actually started saying what I really wanted to say? We also have a need for self-autonomy, to experience personal freedom, to be able to know that we can make decisions. My decision, not my parents' decision, not my partner's decision, my decision, yeah? And so if you're always being told what to do and you're not expressing your self-autonomy, it's going to affect you. It's going to affect your behaviours in all sorts of ways. Having the freedom to think for yourself. And then find the words to express that. You know, sometimes we go along with what other people are wanting when we don't want it ourselves. And you might do it once and do it another time and another time, and it gets harder and harder and harder to speak up. And so what happens here is that quite often you find yourself in an addictive situation where you're doing other things to cover up the fact that you haven't spoken up in other situations. Yeah? And so it needs to start from the beginning. Whenever the right time is for you, find the words to speak up and say, someone wants you to go somewhere and you don't want to go there for various reasons. And you might say, if it's a family member, I love you dearly, I don't want to do that just now, or I can't do that just now, or whatever your words are. Or I'll think about it and I'll let you know. Until you can find your words. You know those situations where you've gone along, oh, was it fun? No. How do we find our words? How do we speak up? And this is what yoga is about. It's not just about sitting, meditating. It's not just about doing the asana. It's about taking that with you into the world. I know how to feel strong in my asana, so I can feel strong in my life too. What's the point of feeling strong in your asana, warrior pose, and then you go back home and people are dumping stuff on you and you wither? You can't feel that warrior pose in that situation. Yoga is not just about coming to a yoga class or doing your self-practice, it's about bringing it into life. Like when I did my yoga nidra early in the piece, I learned how to relax. Excuse me. And then I thought, oh, I can take that into my ballet and getting down into the splits. I can take it into feeling more relaxed in certain circumstances where I'm feeling stressed. I can just relax because I know that feeling. Yeah? I've learned how to observe. So I can take that with me into my life. And bring that in so that in circumstances I see, what are my choices here? My default reaction has been this, but what are my other choices? What are the choices that are being more honest for me? And like people say, oh, how are you? Oh yeah, I'm really good. You don't feel good. So people ask me, how are you? I go, oh yeah, I'm really good in here, but oh, I stubbed my toe this morning, it's really hurting. I think I better go and check if I've broken a bone or something. Yeah. I mean, within myself, yeah, I'm good. But other things happen. Oh, I caught the flu. Like that. So it starts with that sort of honesty. It starts with, for example, you're doing something and you feel the urge to go to the restroom, but you keep doing what you're doing because you say, oh, I'll just finish this, I'll just finish this, I'll just finish this. But you're not listening to the signals your body's giving you. Please start listening to those signals and respond, because that sort of behaviour transfers in other ways. You know, people want you to do something and you don't want to do it, you just put up with it. Again and again and again. But you lose the joy in life. Yeah. So I've been doing a lot of talking here. And so I like to do a bit of practice as well. That ability to observe comes from awakening the third eye center. So here, you know, the brow middle, we talk about the third eye. This is an external point, which is the energy field of the third eye. Third eye, if you go from here back into the center of the head, there's an energy center here at the top of the brain stem called the commanding center. The word in Sanskrit is Ajna. And the Ajna chakra is also known as the Guru chakra. So the word Guru means darkness, lightness, ignorance, knowledge. So this is the center where we move from not knowing to knowing. And this is the center which is also our teacher. It shows us how to do things. A teacher is someone who illuminates us in some way, gives us knowledge in some way. Yeah? So you can have a driving instructor guru, and you can have a piano guru, and all sorts of different gurus are there. Football guru. Anyone plays football here? Or might. And there's different types of guru. There's that type of guru, yeah, like mathematics guru. Then there's the guru the teacher who can assist us in understanding our inner self, the subtle experience of who we are innately. And then there is the guru who we call the true guru, Satguru. Sat in Sanskrit means truth, Satguru. And so this Ajna chakra is responding to all the different types of gurus. In yoga we awaken this Ajna chakra, and our capacity to experience our inner knowing. So from here, it's through thought and vision. Our inner knowing is felt at the heart space. As I was saying before, my mum will say, if you're not sure about something, feel in here. If your heart sings with that idea, it's good. If your heart isn't singing, well, the heart's not in it, as we say. And the third space is the gut feeling, gut sensation, gut instinct. And this is about your body. Yeah? It's felt from the navel down. So there are 3 areas where we listen for information. We listen, we feel, we interpret. And we learn that through doing all our different yogas that we do. So this is a song about Guru. Kirtan's done in call and response. So that means I sing a line and then you repeat it after me. Jaya Guru Deva Jaya, Jaya Guru Deva Jaya, Jaya Guru Deva Jaya, Jaya Guru Deva Jaya, Jaya Guru Deva Jaya. Jaya Guru Deva Jaya, Jaya
Shambho